New drop on the merch shop, folks. Some people might think this is in bad taste, but I don't think so, not at all. We gotta send a message out there that we will not cower, we will not give up, we will not be intimidated. And the best way to do that is to flaunt it. You missed, leftoids. Nice try. We'll see you in November. If you guys want to pick up the You Missed t-shirt, go to the link in the description and let everybody know you're standing with Trump. Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Alright, so the other day I get a call from a family member and they tell me, you should really make an effort to tone down the rhetoric and not mention Democrats or the journalists or try to blame them for what happened, blah blah blah, yada yada yada, you get it, to which my response was, no, and don't ever tell me how to do my job ever again. And the second response was, well, you know, I've been watching Fox News all day and nobody on Fox News is saying that, to which my response was yes, and that's the difference between me and Fox News. I'm willing to actually say the truth instead of help build pathetic little cringe narratives. See, here's the thing. Democrats forever baselessly said that Trump was inciting violence. His rhetoric was leading to violence. They said this baselessly with no evidence for years. And of course, Trump's rhetoric never actually led to violence, now did it, regardless of how many times they tried to make pretend as if it did. So after years of this clear hypocrisy and fear-mongering, and of course all the hypocrisy the whole time Democrats were actually inciting violence through their rhetoric, after all of it, we get the most significant escalations of violence we've ever seen, an attempt on a former president's life and current presidential candidate, and after all of that, we're supposed to refrain from saying the obvious because it makes certain people feel uncomfortable. Give me a frickin' break. Let's really get into the nitty-gritty today. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so I first want to start off with this clip because at the end of the day, it's all about courage to stand up and do the right thing, even when it's difficult. And that's exactly what this guy did. Here's a Staten Island GOP member. Not exactly sure what his name is. I've been trying to find it for a little while here. Maybe you guys can let me know in the comments section, but anyways, just take a look. I think the clip is pretty self-explanatory.
So you want to talk about the fact the guy may be a Republican, or at least registered the Republican Party, which anybody in this country is free to do.
I didn't ask that question, by the way.
That's fine, but you did suggest, and you're talking about rhetoric. So are you saying that it's not okay for us to denounce violence? Are you saying that we should wait until we know what's going on? Everybody on the planet knows that you have MSNBC, the New York Times, Rachel Maddow, The View, you have Maxine Waters, oh, let's get in their faces. You have this going on every day, and you dare to say to us, shouldn't we wait? No, we shouldn't wait. Right now is the time to say that we need to cool things down. We don't have to wait for your permission. We don't have to wait for anybody's permission, regardless of this young man's motivation. What he did was wrong. He tried to assassinate a president of the United States. And you stand there and say, well, maybe I should wait? Maybe it's okay? Are you saying the fact that he was registered to the Republican Party absolves him of everything? Absolves all of the media, of all of the coverage they've done for the last 10 years? Absolutely not. That is a pathetic question, and I think you guys should be ashamed. I mean, I don't know you personally, but it's pathetic that you would even suggest that he's a Republican, therefore everything is okay, when you have social media, you have control of the media, you talk about the laptop, you talk about Russian collusion, all of that we have to forget, because maybe this guy was registered or is registered to the Republican Party. You should be ashamed of yourselves.
I don't think what he's saying is that. I think what they're saying is when he says they did it.
Yeah, they did it.
They did it. You don't know that.
It's what I'm saying.
He knows who he is.
It's what I'm saying. Listen, I take all these DEI classes, right? And in the DEI classes, they say that it's not what the question is. It's how the person who perceives the question takes it. That's how I take it.
Very well.
Yeah, I'm sorry, not sorry. No phony attempt at moral superiority or the moral high ground. Let's just talk facts. Fact number one. All these Democrats that are feigning outrage, all this virtue signaling about we shouldn't be making this a partisan issue right now, well, you can spare me the BS. Frankly, you could take a hike with that one. Because let's just imagine a world where the script was flipped. Let's imagine a world where this happened to Barack Obama or Hillary Clinton or Joe Biden. And on the other side of the political aisle, Republicans were engaging in this kind of behavior. You know, like what you see on screen, just the president on what seems to be a weekly basis, identifying Donald Trump as a, quote, literal threat, a threat to our rights, a threat to our democracy, a threat to literally everything America stands for. He said it a million times. Then, of course, he also said that they're going to be putting Trump, quote, in the bullseye, not to mention all the threats coming out of leftist activists, political staffers, government workers, the list goes on. You have all of these people who have called for violence, continue to call for violence. They're celebrating the shot that was taken at Trump, and many people even calling for it to happen again. Imagine all of that whole situation, but reversed. So it was happening within Republican circles, and then an attempt was taken on a Democrat presidential candidate's life. You mean to tell me that Democrats wouldn't be blaming Republicans for that violence? Give me a frickin' break. Donald Trump told people to be peaceful, go home, stop. And they still blamed him. Not only did they blame him, they tried putting him in prison. They launched a commission, they tried impeaching him, and they went on for 4 years straight, making that exact point. Democrats are literally saying, oh, Republicans don't engage in this horrible, divisive rhetoric. You mean like the same rhetoric you've engaged in over the last 8 years? Except the only difference is you've engaged in said rhetoric with no actual claim, no basis, but us on the other hand, well, we have a pretty decent basis. Yeah, again, no thank you. The President of the United States, Joe Biden, his rhetoric is partially responsible. Academic institutions and the radicalism that they've pushed, their actions and their rhetoric is partially responsible. The nonsense that is spewed out of these leftist talking heads' mouths on CNN, MSNBC, and really every other leftist network, those people in those networks are partially responsible. And now they're trying to lecture us. No thank you. Everybody can see right through the crap. Let's visualize it in visual form. In other words, a meme. This right here is the perfect meme. Every day for the past 5 years, that should be changed to 8 years, our political opponents are domestic terrorists. Today, whoa, hey guys, maybe cool down the heated rhetoric. Give me a break. I'm not looking to get lectured by you Democrats. I'm looking for an apology. Joe Biden owes the entire nation a seriously genuine apology. This guy literally said that half the nation, half of Americans, basically everybody who voted for Donald Trump, he claimed that they were enemies to the Republic. And now here he is releasing tweets like this. While we may disagree, we are not enemies. We are neighbors, friends, co-workers, citizens, and most importantly, we are fellow Americans. We must stand together. We're supposed to give you credit? Unbelievable. We're supposed to be together. We're not enemies. You literally declared we were enemies constantly. I mean, for Pete's sakes, during the debate back in June, Joe Biden was asked the question, does he believe that Donald Trump is a threat to the nation and democracy? And he answered yes.
President Biden, you have said, quote, Donald Trump and his MAGA Republicans are determined to destroy American democracy. Do you believe that the tens of millions of Americans who are likely to vote for President Trump will be voting against American democracy?
The more they know about what he's done, yes. The more they know about what he's done.
And now here he is talking about decency.
A former president was shot, an American citizen killed, while simply exercising his freedom to support the candidate of his choosing. We cannot, we must not go down this road in America. We've traveled it before throughout our history. Violence has never been the answer. There is no place in America for this kind of violence, or for any violence ever. Period. No exceptions. We can't allow this violence to be normalized.
Give me a break condemning extremism. The Democrat Party literally appeals and campaigns for and forms their rhetoric and their messaging directly to appeal to extreme voters who want nothing to do with decency and grace. They want Donald Trump's head, and you have fed into that for the last 4 years. You got elected on that. Well, actually, that's a lie. He got elected on pretending as if he wasn't going to feed into that nonsense. He was just Uncle Joe, Mr. Unity Joe, but then of course it shifted quite quickly. It's been years of Joe Biden feeding into the bogus narratives that Donald Trump is a threat to our very existence. You have to vote for me or you ain't black and he's gonna put you in a cage. That has been the rhetoric. The rhetoric has been that if you're a minority, Trump is essentially going to imprison or genocide you. They've constantly called him Hitler. There's so many compilations all over the internet. I played one yesterday, so I'm not gonna play another. Just go look for it yourself. They called Donald Trump Hitler for 8 years straight, and now they're talking about decency and humility and the right to choose your own candidate. Now you have the right to choose your own candidate, but 6 months ago they were trying to rip him off the ballot and end democracy as we know it, literally. I'm sorry, Democrats, but you guys have no high ground. No matter the copium. I know Anderson Cooper is doing his best damage control work here.
I do want to point out, just for fairness, I don't want to get into an argument about this, but the former president himself has also used that kind of rhetoric. He said on June 27th, Joe Biden is a threat to democracy, a threat to the survival and existence of our country itself, that's certainly the same kind of language you're talking about.
Well, how could you condemn Joe Biden for saying that Trump's a threat to democracy when Trump said the same thing? Give me a break. When has Trump ever made that a core component of his campaign? I mean, here's Trump talking about his priorities right before that Pennsylvania rally.
I don't think it matters who I'm running against. I'm running against, more than Biden, I'm running against bad policies of the radical left.
It's always been about politics and policy. It's always been about ideas. There's probably a quote of Trump saying that Joe Biden's a threat to democracy, and it's probably in response to Joe Biden telling everybody that Trump's a threat to the homeland on a near constant basis. Trump said it once, and probably in response to Joe Biden actually acting like a tyrant, trying to pull him off the ballot, sicking the DOJ on him, trying to put him and everyone around him in prison, censoring and controlling speech online, and getting caught doing it. Probably one of those situations. But we're supposed to pretend as if it's equal. As if Trump has seriously demonized Joe Biden as a fascist threat to the nation. You're out of your damn mind to even suggest that. They're trying desperately, frankly, they're coping, but we know the truth and we're not going to stop saying it. Democrats call for violence, they justify violence, they defend violent people. When they don't get what they want, it's always the same thing, and then they love projecting and pretending as if that's us. I won't cower, I will continue to say the truth, because it is, in fact, the truth. The left is becoming extreme, radicalized. They are the ones to blame for the heightened tensions in this nation. Since Donald Trump came down that golden escalator, they've plunged us into chaos, and now they want to pretend as if it never happened. Obviously, we know the Democrats, they're the most self-interested people you could imagine. They're not saying that because they actually care so much about civility and taking the heat level down. No, it's all just self-preservation. They're saying it to protect themselves. Well, good luck with that. The receipts live online, and I'll continue to highlight them as long as I'm allowed to, because that's exactly what we do here. We expose leftist hypocrisy. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys on this one. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.